Imagine being one step away from your lifelong dream. Stardom in the Premier League, the roar of the crowd, your name on the back of an Arsenal jersey. Now imagine that dream slipping through your fingers because of a tragedy so devastating it could break anyone. This is the true story of Jamal Carter, a young black footballer whose talent lit up the pitch, but whose heart was tested by unimaginable loss. Raised by his father, Malik, a man who gave everything for his son's dream, Jamal's journey is one of grit, love, and heartbreak. Will he rise above the pain to honor his father's legacy? Or will the weight of loss crush his spirit? Stay with us for an emotional roller coaster that will leave you inspired, heartbroken, and cheering for a hero who never gave up. Hit that subscribe button, grab some tissues, and let's dive into Jamal's story. Every legend starts somewhere, and for Jamal Carter, it started on the cracked concrete pitches of White City Estate in West London. He was just 9 years old, lanky, shy, but unstoppable with a football at his feet. The other kids called him Magic J because when he played, it was like the ball was part of him, dancing to a rhythm only he could hear. But the real heartbeat of Jamal's story? That was his father, Malik. Malik was a carpenter, a single dad with calloused hands and a smile that could make you believe in anything, even Premier League dreams. He'd come to London from Nigeria at 22, leaving behind his own dreams of being a footballer when life got in the way. But when he saw his son play, Malik saw a fire he'd never had. "You're going to be bigger than Thierry Henry," he'd say to Jamal, ruffling his hair after every street game. Life wasn't easy for the Carters. White City wasn't a place for dreamers. Sirens wailed at night, and money was always tight. Malik worked 16-hour days, fixing furniture for rich folks in Kensington. But he never missed Jamal's games. He'd save for months to buy him second-hand proper boots, wrapping them in newspaper because wrapping paper was a luxury. "A king deserves the best," he'd whisper, watching Jamal's eyes light up. One chilly evening, Malik took Jamal to see Arsenal play at Emirates Stadium. It was a birthday treat, their first time in the stands. Jamal's eyes were wide as saucers, soaking in the floodlights, the roar of the fans chanting Gunners as the players ran out. "One day, that's going to be you, son," Malik said, squeezing his shoulder. Jamal nodded, his heart pounding. He believed it because his dad believed it. But dreams don't come cheap, and talent alone isn't open doors. That night, a scout from a local youth academy was watching a street tournament in White City. Jamal was tearing it up, slipping past bigger kids, scoring a screamer that had everyone cheering. The scout approached Malik, business card in hand. "Your boy's got something special," he said. "We'd like him to trial for our academy." Malik's face lit up, but his heart sank. The academy was steep, £2,000 a year, plus travel costs. They barely had enough for rent. Malik hid the card in his pocket, not wanting Jamal to see the worry in his eyes. That night, as Jamal slept with his football tucked under his arm, Malik sat at their wobbly kitchen table, staring at the card. He knew this could be Jamal's shot, but how could he make it happen? He made a choice that would change everything. The next morning, Malik sold his prized possession, a beat-up van he'd saved years to buy for his carpentry business. It was his lifeline, but Jamal's dream was bigger. With the money, he paid the academy fees and bought Jamal a proper kit. When he handed it to Jamal, the boy's eyes filled with tears. "Dad, you didn't have to," he started, but Malik cut him off. "You just play, son. Play like the world's watching." Jamal did. He trained harder than anyone, waking up at 5 a.m. to run laps before school, practicing free kicks until his toes bled. Malik was there every step, cheering from the sidelines, even when his hands ached from extra shifts. But as Jamal's star began to rise, something was brewing, something Malik kept hidden, even from his son. One evening, after a stellar trial match, the academy coach pulled Malik aside. "Jamal's got a real shot at going pro," he said, "but we need to talk about his future." Malik nodded, but his face was pale, his breath uneven. He clutched his chest, brushing it off as fatigue. "I'll be fine," he told the coach. But he wasn't. As they walked home under the streetlights, Jamal chattered excitedly about the match, unaware of the secret his father was carrying. What was Malik hiding? And how would it change Jamal's path to the Premier League forever. The academy was Jamal Carter's proving ground. At 12, he was the smallest kid on the pitch, but his feet moved like lightning. The coaches whispered about his potential, calling him a diamond in the rough. Every goal, every assist, was a step closer to the Premier League dream he shared with his dad, Malik. But dreams have a way of testing you, and for the Carters, the first crack was coming. Malik was Jamal's rock, always on the sidelines, cheering louder than anyone. But lately, he looked tired. His eyes were sunken, his cough persistent. "Just a cold," he'd say, waving off Jamal's concern. To keep Jamal in the academy, Malik took extra shifts, hauling heavy wood in freezing workshops. The money was barely enough, but he'd promised his son a shot at greatness, and Malik Carter kept his promises. One Saturday, the academy hosted a tournament. Scouts from bigger clubs, including Arsenal, were rumored to be watching. Jamal was on fire, scoring a screamer that had the crowd roaring. In the stands, Malik stood, fists raised, but his cheer turned into a coughing fit. He gripped the railing, his face graying. A parent nearby noticed and grabbed his arm. "Mate, you all right?" Malik nodded, but his breath was shallow. Jamal didn't notice. He was too busy celebrating with his teammates, dreaming of the scouts' notebooks filling with his name. After the match, a coach pulled Malik aside. "Jamal's got a real shot at a regional team," he said. "We need to talk about next steps." Malik smiled, but his chest tightened. He clutched it, brushing it off as stress. "My boy," he murmured, pride overriding pain. That night, Malik drove Jamal home, the old van rattling. Jamal chattered about the goal, mimicking the curve of the other shot. Malik nodded, but his smile. At a red light, he winced, rubbing his chest. "You keep playing like that, son," he said, his voice strained. Jamal frowned. "Dad, you sure you're okay?" Malik chuckled. "Just tired, Jay. You're making your old man work too hard to keep up." But Malik wasn't okay. The next morning, while Jamal was at training, Malik collapsed in their flat. A neighbor found him and called an ambulance. Hours later, Jamal was at the hospital, sitting in a stiff chair, staring at his dad's empty bed. A doctor approached, her face grim. "Your father's stable for now," she said, but her words hung heavy. What was wrong with Malik? And how could a 12-year-old boy carry the weight of his dream and his dad's secret? Hospitals have a way of making time feel heavy, and for Jamal, every second in that waiting room was torture. His dad, Malik, was his hero, invincible, always there with a laugh or a lesson. But now Malik was just a man in a hospital bed, hooked to machines that beeped too loudly. Jamal clutched his football, spinning it in his hands, as if it could keep the world from falling apart. The doctor's words hit like a tackle. "Chronic heart disease," she said. Malik's heart was failing, worn down by years of stress and overwork. Treatment could help, but it was expensive and rest was non-negotiable. Malik nodded, his jaw tight. "Don't tell my boy," he told the doctor. "He's got enough on his plate." Jamal overheard anyway, catching fragments through the curtain. His stomach churned. How could his dad, the man who carried him on his shoulders after every game, be so fragile? When Malik saw him, he forced a smile. "Just a little tune-up, Jay," he said. "You focus on that regional tournament." The tournament was weeks away, a chance to catch Arsenal's eye. Jamal threw himself into training, but his heart wasn't in it. He'd sneak glances at Malik, who'd started skipping meals to save for medicine. At night, Jamal heard him cough, each hack a reminder of the clock ticking. One evening, Malik sat Jamal down. "You're not just playing for you," he said. "You're playing for every kid on White City Estate who's told they can't make it. Don't let anything stop you." Jamal nodded, tears burning his eyes. He wanted to scream, to beg his dad to rest, but he knew Malik's pride was tied to his dream. As the tournament neared, Malik pushed through pain to watch Jamal train. But each step was heavier, each breath harder. What was he hiding now? And how long could he keep it from the son who needed him most? The regional tournament was Jamal's stage, and at 13, he was ready to shine. The pitches were greener than White City's concrete, the crowds louder, the stakes higher. Scouts from Arsenal and Tottenham were in the stands, pens poised. Jamal felt it, the weight of his dad's sacrifices, the hope of their shared dream. He played like a boy possessed, nutmegging defenders, curling shots into corners. His team won match after match, and whispers about Magic J grew louder. Malik was there for every game, his cheers hoarse but fierce. But Jamal noticed the sweat on his brow, the way he leaned on the railing. Between matches, trouble brewed. A teammate, Liam, was jealous of Jamal's spotlight. "You're only here 'cause they pity you," Liam sneered, shoving Jamal in the locker room. Jamal's temper flared. He'd fought bigger kids on the estate. Fists flew before coaches broke it up. "One more strike, Carter, and you're out," the head coach warned. Jamal's heart sank. He couldn't let his dad down. That night, Malik sensed his son's turmoil. "You're better than anger, Jay," he said, his voice weak. "Show him with your feet." Jamal nodded, but the pressure was crushing. The final match arrived. Jamal scored the winner, a rocket from 20 yards. The crowd erupted, and a scout scribbled furiously. But as Jamal looked to the stands, Malik was doubled over, clutching his chest. Teammates swarmed Jamal, but his eyes were on his dad. Was this the moment everything fell apart? Rain fell like tears over White City as Jamal and Malik faced a new reality. Malik's collapse at the tournament wasn't just a scare. His heart was giving out faster than the doctors expected. In their cramped flat, Malik tried to keep things normal, cooking Jamal's favorite jollof rice. But the medicine bottles on the counter told a different story. Jamal was torn. His tournament heroics had earned him an Arsenal trial, but his dad's health was crumbling. Malik saw the worry in his son's eyes. "We made a promise, Jay," he said one night, holding Jamal's hand. "You're gonna wear that Arsenal crest. Don't stop for me." To pay for treatment, Malik sold his mother's necklace, a family heirloom from Nigeria. Jamal saw him leave the pawn shop, his shoulders slumped. That night, Jamal overheard Malik on the phone with the doctor, begging for cheaper options. "I can't leave my boy yet," Malik whispered. Jamal's heart broke. He wanted to quit football, to stay home and care for his dad. But Malik wouldn't hear it. "You play, son," he said, his voice fierce. "That's how you keep us alive." Could Jamal honor their promise, or would guilt pull him under? Truth has a way of breaking through, no matter how hard you hide it. For Jamal, it came on a stormy night when he could no longer pretend everything was okay. He'd found Malik's hospital papers stuffed in a drawer, words like advanced heart failure and limited time screaming from the page. At 14, Jamal felt the world cave in. He confronted Malik in their kitchen, rain pounding the windows. "Why didn't you tell me?" Jamal shouted, tears streaming. Malik looked older than his years, his eyes heavy. "I didn't want you to carry this, Jay," he said. "Your job's the pitch, not my pain." The argument shook them both. Jamal wanted to quit the Arsenal trial, to stay by his dad's side. Malik grabbed his shoulders. "If you stop now, everything I've done is for nothing," he said. "Promise me you'll keep going." Jamal sobbed, nodding. They hugged, the storm outside mirroring the one within. Malik told stories of their past, how he'd carried baby Jamal to watch Arsenal, dreaming of this moment. "You're my legacy," Malik said. But could Jamal carry that legacy alone? Arsenal's youth academy was a cathedral of dreams, and at 15, Jamal Carter walked through its gates. The trial had gone perfectly, his speed and vision earning a contract offer. The red and white kit felt like a crown, but the weight of it was heavy. Malik was in and out of hospital, his heart barely holding on. Jamal trained daily, but his nights were spent at Malik's bedside, helping with meds or fetching water. Schoolwork piled up, and coaches noticed his exhaustion. "Focus, Carter," they'd say, but how could he when his dad was slipping away? Malik, though weak, was fierce. "You're not my nurse, Jay," he'd scold. "You're my champion." He'd watch Arsenal matches on a grainy hospital TV, pointing out moves for Jamal to practice. One night, he gave Jamal his old wristwatch. "Time's precious," he said. "Make every second count." As Jamal's first academy match approached, Malik's condition worsened. Doctors warned he might not make it to see Jamal play. Would Malik live to see his son's dream take flight? Some moments break you in ways you can't explain. For Jamal, that moment came at 16 when the hospital called. Malik was gone. His heart had fought as long as it could, but it wasn't enough. Jamal sat by his dad's empty bed, clutching the wristwatch. It's ticking, a cruel reminder of time stolen. The funeral was a blur. Neighbors from White City, old friends, even academy coaches came. Jamal stood silent, feeling like the ground had vanished. His first Arsenal youth match was days away, but the pitch felt a million miles off. At home, Jamal found a letter in Malik's handwriting. "My boy," it read, "if you're reading this, I'm cheering from the best seat in the house. Don't stop. Play for us." Jamal broke down, the words both a lifeline and a wound. His coach called, urging him to play. "Your dad would want this," he said, but grief was a heavy chain. Would Jamal find the strength to step onto the pitch, or would loss bury his dream? The Emirates Stadium was a dream come true, but for Jamal, it felt like a ghost town. At 16, he made his Arsenal youth debut, the red and white kit heavy with his dad's absence. The stands were half full, but to Jamal, they were empty without Malik's cheer. He played mechanically, his usual flair gone. In the second half, he had a clear shot, open goal, 10 yards out. He froze, Malik's face flashing in his mind, and skied the ball over the bar. The crowd groaned, teammates glared. "Get it together, Carter," the captain muttered. After the match, the coach pulled him aside. "You've got talent, but your head's not here," he said. "Shape up, or you're off the squad." Jamal nodded, but his heart was elsewhere. At home, he reread Malik's letter, the words burning, "Play for us." He sat on his bed, Malik's watch ticking. Could he find the fire his dad saw in him, or was the pitch too empty to keep going? Grief can break you, or can forge you. For Jamal, it was time to choose. At 16, he stood at a crossroads, quit football or fight for his dad's dream. Malik's letter was his guide, its words of fire in his chest. "Play for us," it said, and Jamal decided to listen. He trained like never before, waking at dawn to run sprints, drilling free kicks until his legs gave out. His coaches noticed the change, his teammates felt his hunger. In a crucial youth match, Jamal got his chance. Down 1-0, he picked up the ball at midfield, weaved through 3 defenders, and rifled a shot into the top corner. The crowd roared, teammates mobbed him. Jamal pointed to the sky, tears in his eyes. "For you, Dad," he whispered. The goal went viral, fans chanting Magic J. But was one moment enough to secure his future? At 17, Jamal Carter stood on the edge of his dream. Arsenal offered him a professional contract, a 3-year deal with the first team. The news felt surreal, like a gift from Malik himself. But without his dad to share it, the moment was bittersweet. Jamal visited Malik's grave, the grass still fresh. "We did it, Dad," he said, laying his academy medal on the stone. He spoke of the contract, the fear of failing, the void Malik left. "I need you to tell me it's okay," he whispered. Back home, he stared at the contract. Signing meant leaving White City, facing the Premier League's glare. Doubts crept in. Could he handle the pressure without Malik's voice? A memory surfaced, Malik saying, "You're stronger than you know." With a deep breath, Jamal picked up the pen. But would signing be the start of glory, or a new kind of struggle? The Premier League was a different beast, and at 18, Jamal Carter was thrown into its jaws. His Arsenal debut was electric, a substitute appearance, assisting a goal. Fans loved him, but the spotlight burned. Training was brutal, media relentless, and rivals ruthless. In a match against Tottenham, a defender, Kane, targeted Jamal. "Heard about your dad," Kane sneered mid-game. "Pity you're still here." Jamal's blood boiled. He lunged, earning a yellow card. The coach benched him, warning, "Control yourself, or you're done." Off the pitch, life was no easier. Paparazzi hounded him, digging into his past. Jamal felt alone, Malik's absence a constant ache. At night, he'd hold his dad's watch, seeking strength. Could he rise above the taunts and pressure, or would the Premier League break him? Rock bottom is where you find your fight, and Jamal was ready to climb. At 18, he'd tasted the Premier League's cruelty, but Malik's memory fueled him. Cleaning out their flat, he found his dad's old football boots, worn but sturdy like Malik himself. Jamal held them, feeling his dad's presence. In the next match, he wore the boots for luck. Arsenal faced Manchester United, and Jamal started. He played with fire, dodging tackles, setting up plays. In the 89th minute, he scored, a curling shot that kissed the net. The Emirates erupted, fans chanting Magic J. Post-game, Jamal spoke to reporters. "That was for my dad," he said, voice cracking. He'd silenced his doubters, but could he keep this fire burning? By 19, Jamal Carter was no longer just a player. He was a symbol. A Premier League star, he used his first big paycheck to fund a youth academy in White City, naming it after Malik. At the opening, kids swarmed him, their eyes wide, just like his had been years ago. "This is for dreamers," he told the crowd, cutting the ribbon. He saw Malik in every kid, every kick. But his biggest test loomed, a Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid. Training was grueling, the world watching. Teammates leaned on him, coaches demanded perfection. Jamal felt the weight of his dad's legacy. "You got this, Jay," he'd imagine Malik saying. Would he shine on Europe's biggest stage? Or would the pressure dim his star? The Champions League was the world's grandest stage, and at 19, Jamal Carter was ready to own it. The semi-final against Real Madrid was a cauldron of noise, the Emirates Stadium electric. Jamal, now a starter for Arsenal, felt every heartbeat, his own, the fans, and the one he carried for Malik. The match was brutal. Real Madrid pressed hard, their stars relentless. Jamal took hits, his legs screaming, but he kept moving. In the 92nd minute, with the score tied at 1-1, he found space. A teammate crossed, the ball arcing perfectly. Jamal leaped, volleying it past the keeper. The stadium shook, fans roaring Magic J. He sprinted to the sidelines, pointing to the sky, tears streaming. "We did it, Dad," he shouted. The goal sent Arsenal to the final, cementing Jamal's place as a hero. Post-match, he wore Malik's old boots, a quiet tribute to the man who'd given everything. Back in White City, Jamal coached at the Malik Carter Youth Academy, teaching kids to dream big. He'd look at them, seeing his own spark, Malik smile. "Your heart's your greatest weapon," he'd tell them, echoing his dad's words. Jamal's journey wasn't just about football. It was about love that outlasted loss, a promise kept against all odds. He'd touch Malik's watch, still ticking, still guiding him. His dream lived on, not just in goals, but in every kid who he dared to chase their own. Jamal Carter's story isn't just about the Premier League. It's about an unbreakable bond, the courage to rise, and a dream that refuses to die. What's your dream? Who's cheering you on, even if they're gone? Let Jamal's journey inspire you to chase your goal, no matter the odds. Share your story in the comments. Smash that like button if this moved you. And subscribe for more stories that remind us what it means to be human. Keep dreaming, keep fighting, and never stop honoring those who believed in you.